It brings a smile to my face when we have a Montoya video, and especially when it's about money stuff. He gets so excited. I can't like. I don't even have to intro. Look at look at his face. He is so happy when he's talking about stuff like this. I absolutely love watching Montoya videos. He's one of my favorites. We haven't watched him in a little while now, and yeah, I'm elated to jump back into it. So let's get into it right away. This one's titled Star Citizen Record Funding in 2023. I think, but it's got a question mark. I believe it's already record funding, is it not? So let's see, Montoya. What do we got?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2023. I hope you had wonderful holidays. If you are new to this channel, welcome.
2023.
I am Montoya. If you don't know already, you should know. It's the name of the channel, right? And we're looking at some beautiful animations here from the letter from the chairman. We're going to get that in a second. But the first thing I want to do in this video is go back to our funding chart here and take a look at where we ended the year. Now, my previous video talking about funding,
before he gets into it, do we think Star Citizen's going to break 115 million in 2023? I don't know. Like, this is a weird one. I think we all believe that at some point the snowball and their constant rotation of, like, because this is something Chris has said in his letters for many years now, at least 2 or 3, that most of the funding is coming from new backers. Most of it. How long can they maintain that? You know, at some point the curve has to start leveling. And I mean, look, we kind of see a curve, right? So it's kind of interesting. Maybe we do it this year, maybe we don't. It really comes down, I don't know, does it come down to how much they bait on their YouTube channel this year as far as like the content that's coming? They baited pretty heavy this past year. Road to Pyro, things are happening, and then at the end of the year, they're like, "Oh, by the way, server meshing, a year away." Hey, new guys, it's only a year away. Old guys, you know what's going on, you know. So, but I don't care because you don't pay me anymore anyway. Will we level out in 2023? I don't know.
We were celebrating Star Citizen cracking over $100 million for the year. And the point I was making, while that's very impressive, the point I was making, if you compare Star Citizen to any one of those other mobile, well, it's not a mobile game, but 2 mobile games, if you compare it to other games as a service, what these companies make, there's companies out there making $100 million a quarter. There's companies making $100 million per month. The point I made with Star...
But they, even though their games may not be as exciting or have as much potential or be as vast and look as good, they have games that players want to progress in, play, and are putting money in to make that progression or whatever. I mean, of course, it's we don't want to compare Star Citizen to a mobile game. We would really hope they would be better than mobile games. Most of us think that mobile games are predatory marketing, bad video games in general, not great game design, are designed to extract as much money from their players rather than extract as much joy and happiness from their players. If we look at games that are, you know, I think the game that you want to compare Star Citizen to, which unfortunately I don't think we have any funding goals or achievements from, I think would be Escape from Tarkov, probably. It's a game that is pushing a boundary in its genre, and it's a game that is kind of niche, but also really popular. In terms of like the way the game plays, you would want to, you know, I think you would want to put Escape from Tarkov and Star Citizen as your comparisons. And we don't know how much Escape from Tarkov makes a year, a quarter.
Star Citizen, while we were all very impressed with
Escape from Tarkov did not start the looter shooter genre.
Broader picture
at all
of how much money there is out there in the gaming industry. 100 million wasn't that much, and we were very impressed with it, ending the year off with 113 million. 8 million just in the month of December. Previous December, though, was 10 million, so that's down. But November of last year was 23 million compared to November the previous year, 21 million. And 2023 is going to be interesting
shooter?
Because
it's a looter
they
shooter.
just said in the chairman's letter that Pyro, which is the big thing everyone's waiting for, the next star system, is only going to be arriving in Q4 2023, which, let's face it, what does that mean? 2024. Well, I don't want to get you overly excited, but Chris Roberts has taken a lot of flack over the years with his targets. So when Chris Roberts says it's coming at a certain time, unless he's pulling a Scotty on us from Star Trek. You know, Scotty would always say something took extra long, and then when he does it faster, he gets commended for it. So maybe that's where it's going, you think? But in any case...
No. I don't.
I will be pleasantly surprised if we do see Pyro in Q4 of this year. I'm fully expecting it to be 2024, which means will 2023 be a quiet year? Now, I say this every year, and I feel I should say it again.
I mean, if you're going to use that logic, look at 2022, because 2022 was one of the quietest years ever in terms of development. Like, not development in terms of like their development behind the scenes, hard work that they're doing, but in terms of content delivered to players, incredibly quiet, especially if you consider 318 never went live.
Again, there will come a year where revenue is below the year before that. Now, we just started January.
January
it
has
last
to happen
year
eventually.
$7 million. So let's watch that. Let's see how January does as far as funding goes. Keeping in mind that there are 500,000 new backers in this game looking to buy some juicy new concept chips, which we guaranteed will always be around and always coming in. So let's see how January does to give us a taste of what might come this year. Also, keep in mind that there'll be
January
a CitizenCon this year for
large.
the first time in 2 years, or was it 3 years? It's been a long time since we had one of those, and they usually have some fancy concept or something very fancy to sell during those events. So let's see how that does. But I love watching this animation. The Corsair, by the way, is absolutely beautiful ship. They're showing here, I guess, some clips from what Pyro will be. And it's exactly these kind of clips to get people excited. The exploration, landing on a planet, exploring. I know most of you have for the exploration of it.
Bro, there's nothing there. I don't see anything that I want to explore. I just see nothing.
And that stuff excites us. Just when will it come? We don't know.
Why do players get
So I'm not going to go through the
stuff?
entire
So funny.
letter from the chairman, but I do want to go down to the part where they're talking about the growth. This is impressive. This is surprising to me. I mean, obviously we saw record revenues, and a lot of people were saying that the revenues are coming from the whales. Now, my anecdotal evidence on that said no. I approached several people I know that spent over $10,000, $15,000 in this game, and I said, hey, how much have you bought? What are you buying? And a lot of people are just not buying. A lot of people are simply melting, which is the term we use to say you're selling something back for store credit and then using the store credit to buy the new thing. So they're not putting fresh money in. Or maybe they're only adding a small amount of actual cash and then using mostly store credit. In my anecdotal evidence, that's what I found most people were doing. So the people who are saying that's the whales supporting this game are wrong, because it turned out not to be true, and we see that here.
I mean, bro, it's crazy. What is a whale, dude? Is spending $1,000 on a video game being a whale? Like in this game, you're just you're a little child. You're a guppy. You're a guppy if you spend $1,000 on this game. You got to spend 10 to 15 to be considered a whale.
Let me read this to you. A huge portion of our growing revenue has come exclusively from new players that only joined Star Citizen this year. I was surprised to hear these numbers here. Watch. In fact, this year we witnessed truly explosive growth. 800,000 new accounts that joined during the free fly events. The free fly events have turned out to be massive. How they work, basically, you can come create an account for free and you get to play the game during that week or the 2 weeks that it's on for.
This is so surprising.
What happens then? Of the 800,000 people who try the game, how many of those people are then converted into backers of the game? That is the number which I never knew about, but this shocked me, right? Of the 800,000 people that signed up, you had new players this year have almost doubled from the previous year, with over 500,000 new players joining us during free flies, dynamic events, and of those players, over 70%. So 500,000 people joined during the free fly event. 500,000 people created free accounts. Of those, 70% stayed around as paying players. So they bought a game package. They bought the $45 package, the $60 package, or they bought some concept shipped. That is a crazy conversion.
It's wild.
500,000 people, 70% tossed in $45-$50 to back the game.
And are likely, like Montoya said earlier, are likely to upgrade that ship, because the current way Star Citizen works and feels, like the game is not developed in a way where it's incredibly fun or feasible to start with the Aurora. And I want to make it very clear that it's not incredibly fun. It definitely is feasible, I guess, but I think it's boring to do so. Is if you start with an Aurora, what's the way to build up to get another ship? It's quite easy, but at some point it gets very repetitive because its missions are quite repetitive, or the way you make money is quite repetitive. So it's kind of a weird situation where you almost feel like you're going to have to, oh man, if I want that industry ship, or if I want that really good combat ship, I should upgrade my my I don't know, Aurora or Mustang Alpha to an Avenger Titan so I can carry some cargo, or even take it up to a Cutlass, which is $100, or take it further. Oh, I got two friends that we play together. I'm going to spend and get the Constellation. And then it just keeps on going and going and going. It's just easier to swipe your credit card than to meaninglessly grind in a game that is going to wipe those ships eventually. And we've had more wipes than I think CIG has wanted to do in the last year or so. I think that also attributes to their funding too. And I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're only wiping when they absolutely have to. And from what I know, just speaking to people, there is that they were quite proud when they didn't wipe for a year, and they were quite disappointed when they had to. So I don't think that that's like a tactic of theirs whatsoever. And let's see how long this 318 wipe lasts for. That could be kind of the answer to Montoya's question, and that could be one of the things that helps level out. Unfortunately for Star Citizen, the funding for next year.
That explains the numbers. That's explaining what's happening right over there. That's why $23 million came in. That's why you saw $21 million in the month of May. These are the free fly event months. So absolutely massive numbers, and one of the best conversion rates. I mean, I would have thought, a 10% conversion rate. If you work in the ad industry, 10% conversion is amazing. Obviously,
these
this
guys
is not
are
an
doing
ad, this
70.
is a game. But to get 70% of that converting to paid backers is huge. So very good news.
That is very big, but here's the thing. How are you going to, and this is something that CIG is not focusing on right now. CIG seems to be focusing 150% on new player acquisition only. How are you going to turn myself, Montoya, all these new backers, the 70%, you guys in Twitch chat, you guys watching on YouTube, how are they going to turn them into somebody who's funding the game consistently throughout the next 10, 12 years, right? Because after this year, after the next couple years, Star Citizen hopefully is somewhat playable. We're playing it on a more regular basis. We can kind of call it, in some way released or in a beta or whatever. They casually mentioned beta a couple times in the last year. I think that's probably not going to be the case. It can't be more ships, right? There's got to be a shift in the mindset. Is it going to be cosmetics? Improving subscriptions to Star Citizen in some way? Giving perks to being subscribed? Maybe not monetarily or anything, but if they're selling ship components, that I'm not going to guarantee because it depends on how they do it, but that would be probably the moment that I would seriously consider never playing this game again. Right? That would be a real consideration to never play again, because that is where we're talking pay to win.
In terms of funding from
100%.
that, look how happy everyone is. I'm excited for the CitizenCon. I hope it's on this year and we're not hit with anything else that might be bad. And look at everyone smiling and happy in the previous years. Hopefully we keep on smiling this year too. I'm worried about this year, and I'll tell you why in a second. And the reason is, let's go down to looking forward to the road to 4.0. So 4.0 is the reason a lot of people are sticking around or are new and excited, because you get to go to a new star system finally. And this new star system is dependent upon server meshing. So what's happening with the server meshing? They tell us down
Nothing.
here. We are aiming to put static server meshing and pyro into the hands of players in the fourth quarter of 2023.
We are planning.
So,
is
he saying
nothing.
it's the fourth quarter of 2023 because it's actually going to be possibly done before that and is going to surprise us? I'd love to say that's true, but let's be honest. When they say Q4 2023, I'm already expecting 2024. Yep. I'm expecting Q1, Q2,
so why
2024.
Say it? That's my argument.
If there's one thing I've learned about game development from...
If even someone like Montoya, who is typically considered... By the way, I just realized that my screen is not... It's like blown up a little bit. There we go. If somebody like Montoya, who's I think largely has a more... positive outlook on Star Citizen's development and the game overall. A lot of the people in his org really enjoy the game, played a lot, so on and so forth, right? So I think he's got like a viewpoint that is somewhat opposite of mine. And even he immediately knows 2024. Everything this guy says comes out of his mouth has never come true. History just is history. And like, why even say it at this point? I don't understand.
Following this project is there are constant delays, there are surprises, things always happen. So Chris Roberts is known to be overly optimistic with his targets, and he knows better to give targets that can't be reached. But if he's saying Q4
he doesn't know
2023
better to give targets that can't be reached. He's done it for 10 years, dude.
Of that we know he gets into trouble by giving unrealistic targets. Will he surprise us? I'll be honest with you. Don't hold your breath. Expect Q1 2024 as the best scenario, in my opinion. I'm not saying this to make anyone upset. I'm not saying this to piss anyone off. I just want you to have realistic expectations, because if this does happen before the end of the year, great. That's wonderful. But in all honesty, I am not expecting to see Pyro this year at all. I think next year. But keep in mind, there's also CitizenCon. Maybe they want to surprise us. I don't know what to think about it. Let me know what do you think below. Post below. I'm curious to know your opinion on this matter. Do you think that they can pull it off in 2023?
No.
I'm highly skeptical. And I just want to basically taper expectations out there. If you are new and you see this and this excites you, we have been burnt way too many times. So, enjoy what 2023 has. Enjoy the features we have right now.
Whatever features come
out.
out.
The 3.18 patch and all the work they're doing on persistent.
In a vacuum, they're fun. You don't really have a reason to do them yet. This isn't like a daily kind of get in and grind and play a lot MMO. But the features are pretty cool. You can have a cool experience in a short period of time in a vacuum and just enjoy the game that way.
Anti-streaming and the server meshing is going to take a long time. But once they get this down, it's going to be so much better. And I think 2023 is going to be a year of patience from all of us. But don't worry, there's always things to do. Also, don't forget Starfield's coming out. Starfield's going to be awesome. Don't you go crying when the launch is bad, because it's going to be good. But anyway,
probably going to get
back
delayed
to the
again.
Story here. I think that concludes everything we have to say about
Alpha 2.
that. Thank you, Chris Roberts, for your update.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Let's see how January goes. So to get a taste of what's supposed to happen, if we can get over $7 million for the month of January, that'll pull us way ahead. And as always, there will come a year where Star Citizen does not beat the previous year. Will 2023 be it? Because we don't see Pyro. We'll see. Give me your thoughts. Post below if you enjoy my content.
Now, to answer the last question that he says, I've talked about this quite a bit. It is, will we have less funding because we don't get Pyro? Does more funding equate to more to having Pyro? Does getting Pyro equate to more funding? I don't think so. I don't think you need another star system to get more funding. I believe at this point, and I've been saying this for unfortunately a couple years now, the game is starting to sell itself. It was starting to sell itself, but it's now rotated back to the potential of the game selling itself. I thought when they put in looting, inventory, medical gameplay, even a little bit of this cargo refactor, salvaging, piracy, brief moments in time are starting to sell Star Citizen. But I think the moment, and to go all the way back to one of the original comments that Montoya made, is finished games sell themselves. But then also they have funding models within those games, and they make a lot more money than Star Citizen. Star Citizen isn't printing money like some other games do. While a lot of people feel that Star Citizen is printing money because, well, guess what? They have a lot more money than you or I, most likely. I doubt, a billionaire is watching my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I just don't think we're going to, I think it's going to keep on rolling because the hope and potential seems to sell Star Citizen more than its actual gameplay, because its actual gameplay can be quite tedious and frustrating. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Montoya's done.
You know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Welcome, you guys. I'll catch you in the next.
Yeah, all the new people out there, subscribe to Montoya. He's awesome. So, yeah, that's just how I feel. I think we probably make more in 2022 or 2023. Maybe ever so slightly. Because I think that they're going to sell the road to Pyro again. I think that they're going to probably show a lot of cool features, because there are quite a cool bunch of features that are on the, I guess, the docket coming up with what is it? We have ship interior, like life support, and air coming out, and we're gonna fly away, fire, power, multi-crew. I think they're gonna push a lot of things, and we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, I somehow managed to take a 9-minute video and turn it into a 24-minute video. So holy react, that was a big one. But thank you for watching with me, guys. As always, this is something I've forgotten to do quite a bit. We do these reacts live on Twitch, so if you guys want to watch live, stop by my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. And we have a Discord, discord.gg/SaltEMike. So if you guys want to stop in and continue the conversation, those are the two best places to, I think, converse in social media right now. And because Twitter, kind of crazy. YouTube's really tough in the comments. to have a conversation. That's why I love streaming on Twitch so much. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.